Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. 90 and 30, Steelers 2024 Training Camp Preview Series, TJ Watt, Deuce Watts, Ryan Watts. The Pittsburgh Steelers 2024 offseason practices concluded in the middle of June. Next up is the team's annual training camp, which gets underway in the latter part of July at St. Vincent College in Latrobe. Ahead of Steelers training camp, we will preview the team's off-season roster 3 players at a time as part of a multi-post series. This Steelers roster preview, which includes outlooks for every player, will be done alphabetically by last name to make it easy to follow. This series figures to exceed 90 players this year, as the team can carry 91 players in total during the offseason due to the allowance of 1 international player designation. The next set of players we will preview ahead of the Steelers' 2024 training camp are TJ Watt, Deuce Watts, and Ryan Watts. TJ Watt, even though he led the NFL in sacks once again in 2023 with 19 of them, Watt failed to win the league's annual Defensive Player of the Year award for the season. On top of those sacks, Watt, who was originally selected by the Steelers in the first round of the 2017 NFL Draft out of Wisconsin, also registered 68 total tackles, 19 for loss, 1 interception, 8 passes defensed, 4 forced fumbles and 3 fumble recoveries during the 2023 regular season. Unfortunately, Watt sustained a knee injury during the Steelers' regular season finale against the Baltimore Ravens, which ultimately forced him to miss the team's playoff game against the Buffalo Bills. Watt ended the 2023 regular season having played 931 total defensive snaps and 36 more on special teams. Not surprisingly, Watt was voted the Steelers' 2023 Most Valuable Player by his teammates. It marked the 4th time he had won that team honor. He was also voted an AP First Team All-Pro again in 2023 and was a Pro Bowl selection once again. Outlook: Watt is easily the Steelers' best and most impactful player on the defense, and that has been the case for several seasons now. Because of this, Watt should be expected to make another run at the NFL's Defensive Player of the Year award in 2024. Watt could easily post another double-digit sack season in 2024 and perhaps even make a run at the NFL's all-time sack record for a single season. Multiple tackles for loss, forced fumbles, and even an interception or 2 are certainly attainable for Watt in 2024 as he looks toward garnering yet another first-team All-Pro honor. Injuries are the only thing that could possibly slow Watt down in 2024. He should easily log another 900-plus snaps on defense in 2024. Deuce Watts: The Green Bay Packers originally signed Deuce Watts as an undrafted free agent in May of 2023, and after last year's preseason ended, they waived him. A few weeks into the 2023 regular season, the Steelers signed Watts to their practice squad, and he managed to remain a member of that unit for the remainder of the year. In January, the Steelers quickly signed Watts to a 2024 reserve/futures contract, and the Tulane product via Jones College has thus been with the team throughout this offseason. The 5 best punters in the history of the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Pittsburgh Steelers are known for finding elite talent at many positions throughout their storied history, but punter is not one of them. This is a franchise that is historically bad at drafting and developing punters, and most of their best players at the position have been undrafted free agents or have come from other teams. Still, there are a handful of names who deserve to be recognized for their accomplishments over the years. The punter is often a thankless position in the NFL. Many fans only notice their presence when the football shanks off the side of their foot or they muff the snap. These punters, however, stood the test of time. While they weren't always recognized as one of the best players in the league at their position, their contributions to the Steelers were more than the team could ask for. There are numerous factors that go into selecting criteria for the top punters in Steelers history. Statistics are very important in these rankings. How often a punter could pin the ball inside the 20-yard line, their punt average, and net average were all considered. More than simply having a big leg, I also factored in a punter's consistency and reliability. This often comes with longevity at the position. Personal accolades were also considered in these rankings. Additionally, I included each punter's ability to flip the field when backed up against their own end zone. Pro Football Reference's approximate value was also factored into my rankings. To qualify for a ranking, punters had to play at least one full season in Pittsburgh with a minimum of 50 punt attempts. Chris Gardocki had already been a punter for 13 NFL seasons before joining the Pittsburgh Steelers at the age of 34 in 2004. The aging punter seemed to tweak a hamstring every other time he booted the ball, at least in my memory. While Gardocki didn't have a big leg, he was very consistent. What's perhaps most impressive was his ability to get the punt off quickly with bodies all around him. Gardocki went his whole 16-year career without getting a punt blocked. In 3 years with the Steelers to close his career, Gardocki averaged 42.1 yards per punt with an impressive 36.3 net yards per attempt. This proves that his hang time and ball placement were getting the job done. Gardocki pinned a respectable 28.6% of his punts inside the 20. While he didn't earn any personal accolades with the Steelers, the longtime punter was a Pro Bowl and All-Pro player with the Colts in 1996, years before coming to Pittsburgh. Steelers news: Brandon Aiyuk requests trade from 49ers, joint practice with Bills. This is the calm before the storm. We are in the thick of the deadest part of the football calendar before training camp practices begin, and things have been tranquil on the part of the Pittsburgh Steelers, but that's about to change. All offseason, we've heard trade rumors surrounding the wide receiver position, and a household name has reportedly requested a trade. The latest Steelers news revolves around Brandon Aiyuk and a special Steelers training camp practice in 2024. It has been confirmed. Mike Garafolo of NFL Network reported on July 16 that Brandon Aiyuk has officially requested a trade from the San Francisco 49ers. Aiyuk is coming off the best season of his career and is seeking a new contract extension. Aiyuk has been at the center of trade discussions throughout the 2024 offseason, and the Pittsburgh Steelers were one team he was routinely linked to. The Steelers have a need for a significant upgrade at the wide receiver position, and they reportedly called the 49ers during the NFL draft to inquire about a trade. The signs all along were that Aiyuk was unhappy in San Francisco, and his trade request was confirmation of where he stood. It remains to be seen if General Manager John Lynch and the 49ers will agree with his request and seek a trade, but you can bet this is a story Steelers GM Omar Khan will have his eyes on. It was announced on July 16 that the Steelers will host the Buffalo Bills for a joint practice in 2024. This practice will take place on August 15, 2 days before the teams face each other for their preseason game. Unfortunately, this is 1 day after training camp practices close to the public. Those hoping to see the energy and potential scuffles at practice will have to do so through clips and posts on social media from those on hand at practice. The Steelers don't have joint practices often, but going up against Josh Allen and the team that knocked them out of the playoffs last year will be a good test. This will also mark a reunion between the Steelers and 2020 second-round pick, Chase Claypool, a storyline that the media will have their eyes on. Recently, Cleveland Browns guard Wyatt Teller spoke to Tyler Dunne of Go Long, where he praised his quarterback, Deshaun Watson. Teller explains that he has seen glimpses of Patrick Mahomes and Watson since the former Pro Bowl quarterback came to Cleveland. Steelers fans can only sit back and laugh at these remarks. Watson's career with the Browns has not been as advertised, and he needs to prove that he's worth the contract and draft capital Cleveland forked up to acquire him. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Brandon Aiyuk? Leave your opinion in the comments.